Hey everyone, it's Emily Fox. Today's video is going to be my midpoint checkup for my reading challenges for 2023. We're going to see how I did according to my list from the beginning of the year. Some things I did pretty good, some things I need to get it together if I want to achieve them before the end of the month. So we're going to get to it because I had about 10 challenges, but let's get to it. Okay, the first one that I'm seeing is the classic Goodreads reading challenge. I wanted to hit 100 books before the end of the month. The year, it would be a little excessive in a month. I'm not sure how I would do that. But as I'm filming this, I'm at 48 books finished, but I think once the video is up, I should be at like 50. I'm almost done with 2, so it should be. And according to Goodreads, at the moment, I am 4 books ahead of schedule, so I'm doing good. I'm not too worried about hitting that goal, considering that I did really good the first couple months of the year, then I had a little bit of a slower bit, and I think we're back on track. So I'm not too worried. I never really feel like I'm not going to achieve it, and if I feel like I'm not going to, I'll just adjust lower. I don't really care. I feel like in general, I've been reading about 100 books ever since I started Booktube, except 2020 and 2021. I was in a reading slump. I feel like people either read a ton more beginning of the pandemic or less, which that was me. So yes, I think this one I will achieve. I'm not too worried. I am on track. The second one was about the genre of books that I wanted to read. So I wanted to try to find favorite mystery, thriller, horror books because it's been a struggle. I'm still trying to find some that like are 5 stars, and it hasn't really worked, but I have been reading some. So like I can't control if I'm going to love them or not. I'm trying to, but I have read about 7. I'm currently reading my 8th one, which I should be done again when the video is up. So none of them are unfortunately 5 stars. I tried though, but I have found one, Chunky, leave the microphone alone, that surprised me a little bit for your own good. I'm not telling you you're gonna love this. I went into it with absolutely no expectation, and it was kind of fun because the main character is like a bad person. He's kind of evil, and it's a little bit dark academia, murder mystery. It was fun for what it was. Like I said, not an all-time favorite, but it is the best one that I have read so far this year, which is probably telling. And the worst one was the first one that I read, which was The Maid, which I feel like this was really popular. It won the Goodreads Choice Award of last year, and I don't understand why. It really wasn't for me. So yeah, didn't start strong, but we're still hopeful. I also wanted to go back to reading more SFF, so sci-fi and fantasy. For fantasy, I wanted to go back to reading high fantasy because I have been avoiding it for like over a year at this point. I don't know why, like kind of reading slump a little bit and just being disappointed by a lot of the ones that I thought I was going to give 5-star to, which like I'm trying to readjust, trying to figure out exactly what works for me. I have been going towards cozy fantasy more, which they've been working. Like they, again, are not 5 stars, but I'm enjoying myself at least. So I've been just embracing that, but I have been going back to high fantasy a little bit more this year. I have a couple that I have enjoyed. For example, the prequel to The Priory of Daring Tree, which was A Day of Fallen Night, and then I've also enjoyed City of Stairs. Both of them I've rounded up to 5 stars on Goodreads, so I'm happy with these 2. Definitely the best ones that I've read so far this year. So I'm slowly going back towards fantasy. I'm definitely happy with that. I've read about 10, and same thing with sci-fi. I've read about 10, but I haven't read a lot of like hard sci-fi. I've only read 1, I think, which we'll talk about in a second. So yeah, not a ton. I've been more into dystopian ones, and they've worked in general for me. So for example, I've really enjoyed I Who Have Never Known Men and also The Wall. So again, both of them are more like dystopian, almost speculative fiction, more than like sci-fi, but I've enjoyed them, which is all that matters. So I am reading more of them, which is what I want. My third challenge is all about series, which is one of my big challenges for myself this year. I did it last year too, and I mentioned that I wanted to finish, catch up, or give up on series, at least 10. And last year I barely made it. This year, I think I'm going to easily achieve them because I'm currently at 9. With that said, out of those 9, there are only 4 that I have completed the series. So even though it would count if I made it to 10, I would prefer finishing 10 series than like give up on 10. But in order, I have finished the Children of Time series. I don't know if the author is going to bring another book. We weren't sure even for the 3rd one, but I have read the 3rd one, Children of Memory. I overall enjoyed it, but the ending wasn't as strong as it could have been. Like, I feel like it kind of just, I lost interest a little bit, but I still am happy I read it. I still think that Children of Time, the first book in that series, is like one of my all-time favorite, First Contact with Aliens. So Yeah, it wasn't bad. It just wasn't what I thought it would be. I also finished The Roots of Chaos, which is the 2 books in that series. I read the prequel, A Dead Fallen Night. I wasn't sure if it was going to count because the other one is a standalone, but it's a prequel. I feel like it counts, okay? Plus it was a big one. It was like over 500 pages. So I have finished a second series, or at least caught up to it, depending on if the author brings out more. And I also read The Kind Worth Saving, which is the follow-up to The Kind Worth Killing. And I didn't love it. I would skip it, frankly. If you like the first one, you could give it a shot, but I preferred book 1 by a lot. But at least I finished a series. And the next one I actually really liked, the Queen of Tearling series. I read the 3rd book. I just finished it, The Fate of the Tearling. And unpopular opinion, but I like the ending. I understand why people are a little disappointed, but for me it worked. There are 3 kittens in the room. They're going a little wild. So yes, that was the 4th one that I finished, and I really enjoyed it. So yeah, 4 finished. And then the 5 that I have given up on. It's not a bad thing because I'm learning to put down books or series when I'm not enjoying them. So it feels a little bit disappointing, but at the same time, it's a really good habit to get into because otherwise it puts you in a reading slump. If you're forcing yourself to read a book or finish a series, like if you're not enjoying it, what's the point? So the first one I gave up on is the Gentleman Bastard series. I read the 2nd book in the series and it was kind of just mediocre. I'm giving up on it. It's just not for me. The second one I gave up on is the Inspector Armand Gamache series by Louise Penny. I read the 3rd book in this series. I think there are like 18, 19 books at this point. A lot. Unfortunately, I really wanted to love it because it's small town vibes, which I love. It's French Canadian, which again, yay, representation. And I wanted to really love the characters, but I don't really care about the story, and I feel like they haven't aged well. Part of me is tempted to try like a more recent book to see and compare, but I think I'm officially giving up on this series. It's just not for me, and it's okay. It's okay. I'm also giving up on Sherlock Holmes. I have read the first 2 books this year. I feel like this one is kind of cheating, but whatever, it counts, it counts. It's just not for me once again. I don't feel like they've aged super well. I do think that they were important for what they were, you know, basically starting a new genre, but I don't really find myself enjoying it. So I'm also giving up on the Queen Thief series. I read the 2nd book in this series. I had read the first one years ago, so I think it's a long time coming. It was fine. It just wasn't memorable for me. There are other series that I would rather focus on, so I'm moving on. And then last but not least, this one hurts. I'm giving up on the Thursday Murder Club series. I know, I read the first book, was it last year? And then I read the 2nd book this year. I thought I was going to give it 5 stars. I love the idea of mystery, cozy mysteries, and again, small town vibes. And this one you're following a group of like older characters. They're all like in their 80s-ish, and they're solving murder mysteries. And it's just such a fun concept. And I like the characters, but for some reason, I didn't find myself as emotionally invested as everyone else. So this one I would still recommend giving a shot because so many people love it. And I wish I did more. It was okay. Just didn't hate it, but I just wasn't as happy with it as I thought I would be, like as invested. So it's okay. I won't be continuing. So 9 in total count for the challenge. So I only need to read 1 more or give up on 1 more. But, you know, I'm not counting the ones that I've read only 1 book and give up. Like it's just the ones I've tried to continue or, you know, finish the 2nd book or 3rd and gave up on. So it's okay. It's okay. It doesn't feel super satisfying because, again, I would rather finish or catch up to 10, but I still have time. I might still achieve that before the end of the year because there are plenty of series that I want to continue, but I'm starting to be really tempted to start more series. So we'll see how it goes. I only need 1 more, so like it's still very, very doable. 4th challenge was to ReClassic. So basically with the book club on Patreon, we are reading a classic together every 2 months. I'm actually almost done with our 3rd one, which is Agnes Grey, and I'm liking it so far. But I also wanted to just read more in general. And I have read 4 all by myself, and all 4 of them were during the month of February. So I don't know if that counts as like doing well or not, but it's happening. The 4 were basically the 2 Sherlock Holmes that I've mentioned. I also finished Cyrano de Bergerac, which is a play. That was a quick read. It wasn't exactly what I thought it was going to be, but it happened. And then I read Their Eyes Were Watching God, which was good. Definitely recommend. So not bad, not bad. I am hoping I will actually read a couple other ones throughout the year, not all in like 1 month, but hey, it happened. At least I read 4 more than I thought I would. My next goal was to read more nonfiction. Last year, I ended up doing the same thing, and I ended up with like 30 plus nonfiction read. It was my main genre last year. It was so strange, but I really enjoyed it, and I was hoping to do the same this year. I gave myself the loose goal of like 20 maybe, and I have only read 6. I'm currently reading my 7th, I think, and it's not going great. I mean, I still have time to completely change. I feel like even last year I went through waves. Like sometimes I would read a ton, then kind of give up a little bit. And what happened this year is that I was reading, I think it was Women Racing Class, and it took me really long to read it. Not because it wasn't good, because that was a 5-star. It was great. It just that it's kind of heavy, and I kind of got out of the habit of reading a little bit every day, and next thing I know, we're like 3 months later. So I do want to go back to reading them. The ones I have read, though, I have enjoyed. So at least there's that. But I want to get back into the habit, especially of reading like a physical one every day a little bit. I do like them as audiobooks too in general, but yeah, not amazing, but it's not disastrous. Actually, the first 2 books that I read this year were nonfiction. So we just need to, you know, get back into it, because I really liked doing the whole video reviewing all the ones I had read, and I'm hoping to do the same thing this year. So get it together. My 6th reading goal is to do the Goodreads Choice Award at the end of the year. So I want to read books here and there. I had once again given myself the loose goal of like reading 15, 20. I refuse to look into it because I don't think I've done well. So this is defying the purpose of this video, but we're going to pretend. I will do the video no matter what at the end of the year. But like I said, the first one I read was The Maid, and I really, really didn't like it. So. To be fair, if you look at my stats so far this year, I have only given 2-star to 2 books and 0 1-star, because I'm giving up on them before I get there, you know? So like, that's kind of why I'm saying I've had an overall pretty mediocre reading year. I only have given or rounded up to 5 stars for like 5 books. So it feels not great, especially because last year was my best reading year ever in terms of 5 stars. So if we compare, it feels very mediocre, especially look at how many 3 stars I've given. So I feel like it makes for like the worst reading reviews, because I can't like rant about them, because they were just, some of them had like parts I liked, parts I didn't, but I also can't gush pretty much about anything. So that's why I'm saying overall my reading year has been pretty mediocre, but it could be worse. It could be worse. My 7th reading goal for this year was to do my Read It or Unhaul It reading challenge. And it's been going so-so. I was doing a different challenge for the month of February, so I couldn't do it for that. And last month I didn't do it. It's on me. So I've only done officially 4 plus the bonus one. So not great. Or is it 3 plus the bonus one? I can't count anymore. But I'm currently doing 1. So we're going back on track. It's going to be coming up soon, the vlog. So I'm hoping to maybe do a bonus one to compensate. We'll see. I want to do my Read It and Unhaul It for all the books that I've been warned ever since I've bought them by some of you that I will probably not like them. So I want to like give them a shot before I get rid of them. I don't like unhauling books that I haven't tried. I feel like it feels wrong. I feel like I won't stop thinking about it. So I want to give them a shot. And then whenever I encounter the issues you guys mentioned, I will be able to easily let go. So that's on my list. I just don't know if it's going to be like an official one or just a bonus one. It will depend on my schedule, because I have a lot of challenges coming up, which we're going to address now. Actually, let's do it now. During the summer, every year, I like doing my Pile of Shame challenge, where for a whole week or 2, I do a reading vlog where I read the books that I started and never finished. Sometimes it's been years, sometimes it's just a couple weeks, months, and I just want to focus on it. This year, I think I might just do the ones I've just started, like beginning of the year, like for example, Dress of the Emerald Sea by Bryn Sanderson. I started it the 1st of January, and I have been 30% into it for like months. So this one, if I do the ones I started recently, I don't have to start from the beginning because I do remember the story, but the ones that I started years ago, I have to start from 0, right? So we'll see what I'm in the mood for, but every summer usually I do that. So that one should definitely be on that list. I'll show you the ones I'm thinking about probably like in my July TBR or something to let you vote on which ones you would like me to pick, and we'll figure it out. But that's definitely on my list of things I want to do. I want to continue doing like fun challenges. I've done a couple, but I have more in mind. Like I want to try before the end of the year reading your favorites of the year, maybe your most hated books of the year, just so we can have fun. we'll see. It will again depend on schedule, everything, but I do like doing these kind of challenges every month. It's fun. So yeah, continuing to read it or unhaul it, continuing doing little fun challenges, testing things, and we'll see what happens. But Pile of Shame this summer, absolutely. It's like a painful challenge, but I feel like the worse it is for me, the more enjoyable it is for you to watch. And I feel you. I feel the same whenever I watch other people. So I have to torture myself a little bit. My 8th challenge was to do house renovations, which has not that much to do with reading. I had, done this room, my library. It's not fully done. I have not been doing well with that because life has happened. A lot has happened, including the cats. I went from owning 0 cats to taking in a neglected pregnant cat, and now I have 4 cats. So I have been very, very busy with that. I think everyone on here is happy with it too. Most of you appreciated little snippets of kittens, which who wouldn't? So yeah, I do want to go back to my normal schedule with that. 9, I wanted to post more videos like favorites, recommendations, and I wanted to specifically try to do some for fantasy. I have failed so far. Miserably failed with that. It's on my list though. I want to do one, it's planned before the end of the month, about time loops because I love that trope. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to try to start doing more of those. But I feel like it's really hard to do like a favorite or recommendation fantasy because I haven't been reading a ton lately. So if I can, start enjoying a couple of them, I'll do one. I might actually do a favorite or just a recommendation for cozy fantasy because I have been enjoying it. And then there's like Bookshops and Bone Dust coming up before the end of the year. Coming out before the end of the year, and it's the second book or the prequel to Legends and Lattes that everyone has been loving, myself included. So I feel like it could be on team if I can, review, recommend all in one. So that's on my list. Next challenge was to post regularly. I think I haven't done that badly so far this year. It went a little in like end of April and May because I had surgery, but like otherwise I think I've been pretty good with that. And the last one was to post on Instagram. I don't think I've posted one picture. We're not going to address that because, listen, when I'm juggling too many balls, this is the beast. She is very feisty this morning. I have to hold her balls. I do not trust her. Sometimes she's super cuddly. Sometimes she just slaps me in the face for no reason. So, yeah, I have not been posting on Instagram. I'm truly sorry. But I feel like when you're juggling too many balls, something is bound to just drop. I did take a picture of her and posted it on my story not long ago. I'll post it here. Look at her with the little rainbow pride month. Come on, she is the #1 ally here. And yeah, eventually I do want to go back because I really like doing it, but if it's in between posting a video or posting a picture, I'll post a video, of course. So this is kind of where I'm at for my reading goals and challenges of 2023. Some of them doing really well, some of them less so. But I think that overall, it's not the worst year. Like I said, it's kind of a mediocre year. And it's going to happen, but we're going to hope I get more 5 stars for the end of the year. I feel like I have no control over this. Like I'm not purposely choosing books I'm going to hate or just have no feelings towards. But we're going to try to figure it out. If you have any favorites to recommend, feel free. And I mostly want to know, how are you doing on your reading goals? Are you failing? Are you doing well? Are there any things that you have switched up or you need to switch up before the end of the year? Because even though, like I said, it's pretty mediocre for me, I think that I should just be happy that I have been DNFing, not finishing books that I'm not enjoying. Actually, I just looked at it and I put down 13 books officially, like I'm not going back to them. To be fair, there are 6 that were part of a challenge where I was trying to remove books from my shelf. So like it's still like at least 7 books that while I was reading them, I decided, you know what, I'm not enjoying them. I'm moving on, which feels very mature. And I think it's good for me. It's really hard to get into the habit of doing it, but it's very liberating whenever you actually get to that point. So still working on it, but I think that it has helped me not have so many 1-star readings. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thumbs up, subscribe. I will be putting more videos on the screen that I recommend you check out, including some of the ones I mentioned. And I will be seeing you very soon. And now I'm going to go torture myself with my Read It or Unhaul It challenge. Look at her. She's huge. Huge. She's the tiniest of the 3, but she's the best. I love her. I feel like I could bite her.